Now, my name is Jayesh Panicker. I am working as a global solutions engineer in Sophos, and today I am here to talk about the priming for resilience, how humans and technology can work together and give you the better cybersecurity outcome. So what exactly is priming? Now, imagine a scenario when you were flying for the very first time. You were overwhelmed. You don't know what exactly needs to be done when you are at the airport. What about the security check-in process? Who is going to check the passport? What if your luggage is having excess weight? So this is when you are attending for the first time. But if you keep on traveling again and again, your brain knows what is the exact process and you won't be overwhelmed again. So this is exactly what priming means. It means you train, the brain is trained in a way that it knows what needs to be done when the same event happens next time. And the same thing can be applied in cybersecurity as well. You can train your security tools in such a way that it is having the knowledge and good knowledge and enough knowledge to identify the threats at a very earlier stage and avoid it to become as a full-scale incident. Now let's understand the cybersecurity reality. This is a snapshot from Verizon 2025 data breach investigation report. Now what exactly is the takeaway of this report? So the message is none of the industry, none of the organizations are immune to cyber attacks. It doesn't matter whether you are a small organization or big organization, whether it is a government, finance, education, healthcare, everybody is prone to cyber attack. Now, how exactly the attackers are exploiting priming? You must have heard about people, process, technology, right? So when it comes to people, they would usually send you emails with a sense of urgency. And even right now, the use of AI is very prevalent. So they use deep fake technologies to impersonate and make some calls to get some action from the users. And this is one of the examples that I have taken. So the attackers will actually send you an APK file instead of a PDF file, and they will ask you to download it. Now, if you are not aware about what's happening in the cybersecurity world, you will download it and you will click it. And once it is done, boom, your mobile is compromised. And in terms of technology, obviously you would have seen some phishing emails, and it looks very legit. It is very hard to identify such emails. And on top of it, you must have also seen the green padlock for HTTPS websites. So if you see green padlock, that means it is safe. But even the attackers know this, and they design their websites with HTTPS still having the green padlock. So even they are one step ahead when it comes to attacking. So the end goal of the adversaries is to exploit the speed and make sure that they bypass the critical thinking. So if you think long enough to take action, you will identify that something is suspicious. Now this is a near perfect solution that you would see in most of the organizations. You will see security tools at every entry-exit points, and there would be a team which will be managing those security tools. So what happens when an incident is flagged by the endpoint? No problem, we will fix it. And then, let's say a firewall also detects something. So the firewall guy will go and will try to fix it. But let's say if there is a DOS attack and your entire organization is compromised. So you will see lots and lots of alerts, and the team which is supposed to manage it will be very overwhelmed and anxious when stuff like this happens. So why cybersecurity also needs a priming? There are two ways. One is the reactive defense, where the people or or the team which is managing or doing the defense action is just waiting for the threat to happen. So obviously when there is an incident that is happening, they will take the action accordingly. So they are waiting for something to happen instead of proactively neutralizing the threat. And of course, it would be inconsistent because every attack will not have the same pattern. So different attack will have different mechanisms, process, exploiting vulnerabilities. So everything is different in each attack. So the response mechanism may also be very inconsistent. In terms of impact, obviously you will see a higher impact for such breaches because the team still doesn't know, is not primed enough to handle new threats which they have not seen before. And of course, when the breach happens, it is directly associated and impacts your recovery cost. Because let's say if your backup is compromised and you don't have a backup which is stored somewhere else. So obviously this will directly affect your recovery cost as well. Now let's compare it with proactive, which is also called as primed defense, which is exactly opposite of the reactive one. The threat identification is very quick. We build some automation around it so that response action can be taken. And attack surface is reduced significantly because you know exactly what are the ports, what are the protocols that are being used, so you open only those ports. So the attackers cannot easily penetrate and come into your network. And finally, this increases the resiliency of your recovery process as well. Now, this is my favorite slide. So, you must have heard about many speakers talking about AI, Gen AI, machine learning, and I'm sure the presenters after me are also going to talk something related to AI ML. But let me tell you, what happens if you are too much dependent on technology which is now powered by AI? Any guesses? Okay, let me give you a clue. What happens when the AI becomes self-aware? Rings a bell? Everybody has seen this movie, right? And we all know how this movie ends. When AI becomes very much self-aware, it knows exactly that it has all the information, capabilities, so we don't need any humans. But this is okay in movies, but we don't want to see this in real life, right? So that's the reason we need human touch as well. Human touch, yeah. So how humans and technology both can work together? So any action that is performed on an incident, it also needs a contextual awareness as well as creative problem solving. So technology or your solution security tools will only perform the action based on whatever it is trained on. But ultimately, a human intelligence is needed. And of course, machine learning, we have all the great capabilities. It will do early pattern recognition, continuous monitoring because we build some automation around it. So you don't need a person sitting there and doing monitoring because tools are capable enough to do that activity. And finally, the best of both the worlds. Skilled people using the best technology will give you a perfect resilience as well as the coordinated response action. Now, this is also a very interesting picture. I'm sure every head of the IT department or CISO would be seeing this situation at some point in time. So they invest a hell lot of money in the security tools to make sure that the organizations are secure. But still we see that the systems and networks are compromised even after using all those security tools that you see. So why exactly this is happening? And what is the solution? How we can minimize it? The answer is also right in the same picture if you observe carefully. So there is only one person who is doing multiple things. Now, what exactly happens when a situation like this is actually happening? So we have one person, he might be overwhelmed, or it could also be a skill issue, because let's say he's a firewall guy, so he doesn't know how to manage or use other tools. Or maybe he's overwhelmed, he's facing a burnout issue because it's too much for him to handle. So basically the key message is, you may not have enough resources, enough headcount to manage the attacks. So as a solution, what we can propose is, look out for managed services. So there are vendors out there who would provide you managed services, such as managed detection and response, where they have skilled analysts that are trained to do 24/7 monitoring. So let me ask you a question. Is your organization ready to tackle a security incident that happens on Sunday, 3 a.m.? So I'm sure many would be thinking about it. So the answer is, you can always go for the managed services, which will do round the clock 24/7 monitoring. And you can offload your headache to the managed services. And of course, proactive detection, because they are doing threat hunting. They are trained to do that. So instead of waiting for the security incident to happen, they are proactively going out and doing a detection, so that they can detect this incident very early on and prevent it from becoming a full-fledged ransomware attack. And of course, the experts are hired here to do the job, so you can expect a better cybersecurity outcome. And not only managed services, but you can also watch out and leverage advisory services like penetration testing. It could be from external side, from internal side, because you need to know how vulnerable your network and systems are from a external lens. And the attacks also can happen from wireless networks directly. So we can also go for the wireless network pen test, where they will scan your Wi-Fi and see what are the vulnerabilities, if there is any weak passphrase, the protocols that are used for Wi-Fi key. And finally, we also have the web application security assessment, which is like you host your web servers. So if there are any vulnerabilities in your coding, in your web servers, so how to identify and mitigate that. So these are the advisory services that you can look out for to fortify your networks and systems. So call to action, invest in priming, because it's very important. And when I say invest in people, invest in technology, so that you get the best of both and make your networks and systems more secure, more cyber resilient. And as I said earlier, leverage managed services and advisory services because they are already available to help out and to help out the customers. And I would like to end with an analogy here. So if you see there is a storm, it looks very dangerous, and there is a ship. So if I compare this with cybersecurity, I would say that you cannot stop the storms from coming, but what you can do is build a ship which is strong enough to take the hit and still sail through, and you reach your destination sound and safe. So in terms of cybersecurity, you know that the attacks are coming. You cannot ask the attacker to not come, right? So attacks are coming onto your network and systems. So what you can do is you can make your cybersecurity resilient enough, just like the ship, so that it will take the hit and it will mitigate, will recover, and still give you the better cybersecurity outcome. And that is all from my side. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you very much, Mr. Panicker. Attacks like the storm will surely come. So we have to be strong enough to face it. Okay, just a quick question. Aside from the presentation earlier, give us a major takeaway on how we can prime for cyber defense in our own ways at home.
You want the short answer? Trust nothing, verify everything.
Everything.
So the idea is on our individual levels, we like many times we have seen people that they will see some links and they will click on it without thinking about it, what exactly that link is, whether it is a suspicious one or not, or maybe they will use a very simple password like admin123. So that is a dumb thing to do. The minimum or the basic thing that is expected is you can use strong password, you can use multi-factor authentication, and avoid clicking on those spam emails, spam links. That's the basic I could suggest.
Thank you very much. And now let's take a look at the visual evaluation of his session. Invest in priming and leverage managed services for a secure future. Priming. There you go. Integrate people and technology to build stronger and adaptive defenses. It should be people and technology, not just technology, because if they become too self-aware, he'll be back. I'm back. Okay, exploit speed plus habit, bypass critical thinking, trust nothing, verify everything. Thank you very much again, Mr. Panicker.
Thank you.